Affinity CRM has carved its niche into investment management and venture capital companies. You might ask yourself, why? Well, that's because the way that they record relationships and they also deal workflow. But as the business is growing, I'm sure that Affinity CRM users will see a lot of flows, lack of features that a tool like HubSpot can provide. There's many advantages why you would move to HubSpot. HubSpot is more of a holistic tool where you can look at your sales and operation marketing on an advanced level. There's a lot of limitation within Affinity for the features that it's offering, for the price that it's offering. And in the end, HubSpot offers a much better analytics reporting and dashboard of the back of the data stored in the CRM. Hello everyone, my name is Stefan. I'm the CEO of Loncom Consulting, and we specialize in HubSpot CRM and migrating customers from Affinity CRM onto HubSpot. If you're an investment management or venture capital company using Affinity CRM, you know why I'm talking about the migration to HubSpot. You saw its limitations, you saw the problems of costs. Affinity has all of these things not very well defined. It's a tool that is not developing as rapidly as HubSpot. So you're definitely thinking of this move. In this video, we're gonna go through steps how to move from Affinity CRM onto HubSpot. So let's start. The big question that we are trying to answer today is, why are investment management and venture capital companies moving from Affinity CRM onto HubSpot? If you're an investment management or venture capital company, move to HubSpot is very appealing, and probably you even have more reasons that I myself do, or my fellow teammates does, or even our customers. I'm just going to list some of the reasons why people are thinking of a move from Affinity CRM onto HubSpot. Number one is feature limitation. Affinity CRM is not developing as fast as HubSpot. You might need Affinity CRM when you start your investment manager or venture capital company, but as you are growing, you need more of a holistic and comprehensive tool. So that's where HubSpot comes in place with a lot of sales, marketing, operational data, AI features, and that's where HubSpot really excels. The second reason is cost. When you compare HubSpot and Affinity, the cost is not different, but the value that you're getting is quite a bit different. I would say that HubSpot is a tool that is developing so fast, introducing so many new features, that for the money that you pay for HubSpot, you're getting quite a lot in comparison to Affinity. Cost is a big thing while we see our customers move from Affinity CRM onto HubSpot. The third thing is integrations. HubSpot integrates with everything these days. Even their native app marketplace integration will do quite a lot. But then further on, with their API and comprehensive documentation about it, and all the apps that also support HubSpot that are not on app marketplace, is just a great integration ecosystem. Definitely something to look at. Today, the question is not to have an end-to-end solution, everything in one. You will always use multiple tools. Just look, you have to use two, CRM and your email. So then you include your calendar, your meeting links, and so on and so forth. All of these things need to be talking to each other, and the data needs to be flowing between all of these systems. Affinity is not going to help on that side. HubSpot, easy peasy. Definitely a big recommendation on the integration ecosystem. And the last reason why I really think that HubSpot is so much better of a tool than Affinity CRM is the wider ecosystem altogether. HubSpot is built on partnerships. It's built on partners that created the ecosystem, offering different services, different types of support, all the way from marketing to data, to integrations, to data cleanups, to data migrations, to all of these things. Affinity is not that strong into the ecosystem. So you have to think, when you are implementing a CRM tool, it's not only the cost of the subscription that goes to the CRM. There is this wider piece of implementation, and HubSpot ecosystem is much better in supporting you get on board with that system, people are using it, and you get the most out of it to boost your revenue, to reduce your costs, and so on. So these are all the negatives that I spoke of Affinity, and why is HubSpot such a better tool. Now I'm going to teach you two methods on how can you migrate from Affinity CRM into HubSpot. Method number one for moving your data and your processes from Affinity CRM into HubSpot is CSV Import and Export. Okay, so if you're a venture capital investment management company and you're not that big at this stage, you don't have a lot of data into Affinity CRM, that's a great way that you now can move to a better tool like HubSpot. So what you need to do in that case is export all of your data from Affinity and import it into HubSpot so you can start using that tool. So how do you do that? Exports are mostly done off the back of lists. The first consideration you need to do here is that different lists might have different fields and different data that you've configured in the backend to record. So you need to be careful that you might need to export multiple CSVs for that organization data or person data or deal data and merge them all together. I recommend using VLOOKUP function on the ID of that record, whether organization, people, or deal. So the first thing, get your data from it. When you get all of that ready, you would need to do a little bit of a cleanup. Look, when you're migrating systems, especially when you're migrating data, it's a perfect time for you to clean up the data and put clean, useful data into your new HubSpot CRM system. So spend some time in those spreadsheets. In reality is, you will only be able to migrate organizations, persons, and deals. What about emails? What about reminders? What about notes? What about files? All of these things you've collected in your Affinity CRM, and you definitely need to move to your new HubSpot CRM system. The second method to migrate your data and processes from Affinity CRM into HubSpot is via API. Thankfully, Affinity CRM has an API that we can get all the data from, and that's basically everything. So that's your per people, that's your organizations, that's your deals, notes, reminders, entity files, and so on. All of these things we can get via the API. We will also have the associations between all of these records and objects, so that company will be associated to that contact, and that exact notes how it is in Affinity will be also connected and associated to those contacts, deals, or companies in HubSpot. API is the best way how you migrate all of the data. But you will need a little bit of a coder experience to migrate all of that data. And how is that done? So here's our recommendation. First, migrate via API the organizations to companies in HubSpot. That's the first step. We always first migrate companies. Then we would migrate people into contacts on HubSpot. Don't forget, you now have to associate back. So it's always one object that we migrated the newest, which is contacts, we need to associate back to the older ones, which is in this case only company. After those two have been migrated, we would go onto deals. We would migrate all the deals and then associate them back to companies and contacts. Then we need to go into the activities. So this is when it comes to emails, reminders, notes, meetings, any calls, and also files. Because all of these activities, and of course files and attachments at the end, can be associated with the top 3 objects, which are contacts, companies, and deals into HubSpot. Now, this is not the easiest method. Why? Because of formatting. You might need to consider that your data is not the cleanest out there. So you might need to format the phone numbers a little bit differently to import it into HubSpot. Don't also forget that if you have a lot of custom fields created on those lists in Affinity, you would also have to replicate those as custom properties in HubSpot. So these two things have to match. If you're doing it via API, then in reality, you can also move the fields into the custom properties in HubSpot. And that's how you migrate all the data. So the course and chronological actions go that you first migrate the fields, then the companies, then the contacts, then the deals, and then the rest of activities, and at the end the files. That's the best way to do it via API. Check out our free content below that is going to give you a little bit more insight on how to migrate via API from Affinity CRM onto HubSpot. And of course, if you do have any questions, we are here. We know how to do this. We've done so many migrations from Affinity CRM into HubSpot, so feel free to reach out via the contact us form, again in the YouTube video description. Okay, let me do a quick recap of all of this. You found yourself in a problem. Affinity CRM is not good enough anymore. You're ready to move to HubSpot, but how to do all of these things? And this is where we outline the 2 methods on how to move your data predominantly and also processes from Affinity into HubSpot CRM. The first method that we're going through, import export, that's via CSV file. Get the list, get it sorted on all objects, on all records in your Affinity, download that data, push it into HubSpot, and you have a new HubSpot to start working with. The better way to do it is method 2, via API. Yes, it is a little bit more complex because you will need some coding knowledge, but in this way you can really capture everything, something that you can't capture in the method 1, like notes, like tasks, like files, and so on and so forth. I know migrations are never, ever easy, but we in Loncom Consulting make it extremely easy. So what I would recommend is, take a look at our free content again in the YouTube video description below and check out how you can migrate from Affinity CRM onto HubSpot. In case you have any questions, let us know. Contact us form is below in the description. We've migrated so many clients already, and they're so happy with their new HubSpot CRM. I mean, sales, marketing, advanced feature, AI, enrichment, all of these features that HubSpot is constantly bringing in from week to week. Our customers who migrated from Affinity CRM onto HubSpot are currently now enjoying. So definitely it is possible to migrate from Affinity CRM onto HubSpot. These are the ways in this video on how to do them. Thank you all for listening. If you learned anything interesting today, please hit like and subscribe button. That helps this channel going. We're gonna constantly be sharing a lot of educational material, a lot of migration tips, a lot of free content that a lot of businesses can use to move systems, to get to better systems, to use those systems, optimize and so on. My name is Stefan. I'm the CEO of Loncom Consulting. Thank you very much for listening today, and good luck with your Affinity CRM to HubSpot migration.